A new world order, reality or fiction? The term New World Order often sparks debate and controversy. Is it simply a reflection of the shifting geopolitical landscape? Or does it hint at something more nefarious, a secret plan for global domination? The truth, as is often the case, lies somewhere in between. Understanding the New World Order requires examining both the tangible shifts in global power and the anxieties that fuel conspiracy theories. On the one hand, the post-World War II global order, largely shaped by the United States, is undeniably facing challenges. Emerging powers like China and Russia are asserting themselves on the world stage. They are creating their own institutions and forging new alliances. This shift suggests a move towards a more multipolar world, where power is distributed among several key players. On the other hand, the idea of a shadowy cabal controlling world events has persisted for decades. Groups like the Illuminati and the Bilderberg Group are often cited as evidence of this hidden hand. While these claims often lack concrete evidence, they highlight a deep-seated mistrust of authority and a fear of unchecked globalism. Navigating this complex landscape requires a nuanced perspective. We must acknowledge the very real power shifts occurring on the global stage. Simultaneously, we must critically examine conspiracy theories, separating fact from fiction. Only then can we hope to understand the forces shaping our world and the potential implications of a new world order. The American century shaping the post-war world. Following World War II, the United States emerged as a global superpower. It used its newfound influence to establish a rules-based international order. This order aimed to promote peace, stability, and economic prosperity. Central to this system were institutions like the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. These institutions, largely influenced by the U.S., provided a framework for international cooperation and development. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a military alliance led by the U.S., further solidified American dominance. NATO served as a bulwark against Soviet expansionism during the Cold War. It continues to play a significant role in global security today. The US dollar became the world's reserve currency, further cementing American economic power. This gave the US significant leverage in international trade and finance. This US-led order, while not without its flaws, contributed to a period of relative peace and prosperity. However, the global landscape has changed dramatically in recent decades. The rise of new economic giants, particularly China, has challenged the existing power dynamics. This has led to a re-evaluation of the established order and the emergence of alternative centers of power. Challenging the hegemon. The rise of alternative power structures. The rise of China in particular has been a defining feature of the 21st century. China's economic might has translated into growing geopolitical influence. It has sought to reshape the global order to better reflect its interests. One way China has done this is by establishing parallel institutions to rival those led by the West. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, founded in 2001, is a prime example. The SCO brings together China, Russia, and several Central Asian countries. It focuses on regional security, military cooperation, and economic development. The BRICS grouping, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is another example of this trend. The BRICS nations have established the New Development Bank as an alternative to the IMF and World Bank. These initiatives reflect a growing desire among many nations for a more multipolar world. They no longer want to be beholden to the dictates of the US and its allies. This shift is not limited to the creation of new institutions. It is also evident in the growing assertiveness of countries like China and Russia in challenging the existing global order. Section 4. De-dollarization and the quest for economic independence. Another key aspect of the perceived New World Order is the move away from the US dollar as the dominant global currency. This de-dollarization effort is driven by a desire to reduce dependence on the US financial system. It is also fueled by concerns about the potential for the US to use its currency dominance as a political weapon. China, in particular, has been actively promoting the use of its own currency, the yuan, in international trade. It has also established alternative payment systems, such as the Cross-Border Interbank Payment System, or CIPS, to rival the SWIFT system, which is heavily influenced by the US. Russia, too, has been seeking to reduce its reliance on the dollar. It has increased its gold reserves and is exploring the use of digital currencies. This shift away from the dollar, while gradual, has the potential to significantly reshape the global economic landscape. It could lead to a more fragmented financial system with multiple currencies vying for dominance. This could have far-reaching implications for international trade, investment, and geopolitical stability. Section 5. Whispers in the Shadows: Conspiracy Theories and the New World Order. While the geopolitical shifts outlined above are undeniable, the concept of a New World Order also encompasses a darker, more conspiratorial narrative. This perspective views the changing global order not as a natural evolution of power dynamics, but as a carefully orchestrated plan by a shadowy elite. Proponents of this view often point to secretive organizations like the Illuminati, Freemasons, and the Bilderberg Group as evidence of this hidden hand. They allege that these groups are working behind the scenes to control global events, manipulate financial markets, and ultimately establish a totalitarian world government. This narrative often incorporates elements of anti-Semitism, with Jewish people frequently cast as the masterminds behind these nefarious schemes. While these claims often lack concrete evidence and rely on conjecture and speculation, they resonate with a segment of the population. This is particularly true in times of uncertainty and rapid change, where people are more susceptible to fear-mongering and misinformation. Section 6. Navigating a multipolar world: competition, cooperation, or control. The concept of a New World Order, whether viewed through the lens of geopolitical realignment or conspiracy theories, highlights the anxieties of our time. We are witnessing a fundamental shift in the global balance of power with the rise of new actors challenging the established order. This transition brings both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, a more multipolar world could lead to greater competition, but also greater cooperation. With no single power holding absolute dominance, countries may be forced to find common ground and work together to address shared challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and economic instability. On the other hand, this transition could also lead to greater instability and conflict. As power becomes more diffuse, the risk of miscalculation and escalation increases. This is particularly true in regions like the South China Sea and Eastern Europe, where territorial disputes and historical grievances could easily boil over. The future of the New World Order, therefore, remains uncertain. Whether it ushers in an era of greater cooperation or conflict depends on the choices that nations make in the years to come. Will they embrace dialogue and diplomacy, or will they resort to confrontation and zero-sum games? The answers to these questions will shape the world we leave to future generations.